I'm going to do a shook swarm on this hive today. Reason, I've been looking at an inspection board over the last few months, in, out, scrape, clean, and it has been pretty clear. No uncappings, very little wax platelets, and yesterday was the first time I managed to go in this year, only to find the inspection board after 1 week 300 plus varroa. Really strange. I went inside and found numerous, quite a lot actually, deformed wing virus and speckled brood. The queen was there, lots of eggs, lots of, everything looked pretty normal apart from the brood pattern. So I've decided to do a shook swarm, get rid of all that varroa and put new comb in. And obviously the queen, I will then feed it, lights her up and let it build up. I don't expect anything from it until maybe July, August this year. Let it really build up. So let's see how it goes. So my manoeuvre is, I'm going to take this whole hive and I'm going to lay it across there. I've got a new hive here, new foundation, new floor, everything scraped, cleaned, perfect. I've got the crown board, I've got the feeder ready. So that will go in place here. I will then take the frames out. Well, I'll look for the queen first. I'll cage the queen in the crown of thorns, just so I know where she is. I will shake every single thing in here, every single thing. And then I will take her and place her in here along with the rest of her workers, and close things up and feed them. So I'll keep the camera on while I'm doing it, and fingers crossed everything will be okay. The hive is in exactly the right place. New comb, lots of new comb. Leave a space in the centre to put the bees. I put a queen excluder at the bottom. Don't want them to abscond. I've never had them absconding, but I don't want them to. I'm just going to put a wee bit of smoke in. That's it. And the queen isn't there. I'll lay it at the front of the other hive. They're all coming in here now. They're all finding their way. Now this is a frame of stores. It has no larvae or anything on it. Will I use it? I think I will. I know its pedigree is okay. And we have another very heavy frame of stores with no larvae and some pollen and no queen. So I'm going to use that also. Now I'm going to look for the queen. I've got my crown of thorns here. I will, as diligently as I can, look for her. Nope, no sign of her. But I did see eggs in that frame. I see lots of deformed wing virus here. Very unsettling. Lots of pollen coming in. More deformed wing virus. Lots of brood. Always look at the dark side. I was in someone's hives yesterday and they were marking their queens with the only pen they had, a yellow pen. And of course, what pollen's coming in at the moment? Yellow. So you had to get your eye in, or it was completely covered in marked queens. I suppose I could shake them in as I'm checking them, but I would rather know I have the queen. Again, lots of deformed wing virus. Shocking. A shook swarm is such a shame because you're potentially thousands of bees that you're destroying. But with a little TLC they will recover very well, and it bodes well for the health of the hive and of course all the other hives round about. Now there will be phoretic mites on these bees. There definitely will be phoretic mites on these bees. So I will have to do a oxalic acid treatment on them tonight after they're all in, or early tomorrow morning, just to keep the phoretic mites down. That was a queen cup there. Right, no queen. No queen, I think that's the last of the brood. I might actually have to start shaking if I don't find her, which is a shame. I want to find her. Right, I think I'll start shaking. There's nothing on the other hive. Always double check. No queen hanging about, that's fine. Now what would you do with your old frames that have pollen, stores, larvae, cat brood, what would you do with them? So what I'm saying is, when I shake the frames, there's lots of nectar they've collected over the last day or two coming out, which is good. You can see we used this as a brood break last year. It wasn't successful. We did it on 3 hives. Sorry, we did it on 4 hives. And once we released the queen after 24 days or 25 days, she disappeared. We assume they didn't like her, or her pheromone was very weak, and they killed her and produced, well, they didn't produce, we had to introduce eggs into the actual hive, which was very unsettling. Still not found her. She's marked. She's blue. And the last frame. And I found her on the very, very last frame. You would hardly believe that. I've chased her along and there she is. So she's perfectly okay, and I'm going to put her right in the middle. Right, she's going right in the middle now. It's not the first time this has happened to me. You chase the queen along. I know she's in there now, and I've got a box full of bees, and I know everything's great. Nothing else I can do apart from leave them. Always good to get the spacing perfect. Spacing's perfect. Clearly not big enough to put a dummy board in, that's okay. You see we've got a clear crown board here. Best thing out, best thing. We can observe the bees all throughout the year. Can't go wrong with that. And of course, I'm going to feed them too. Perfectly over the hole. Great. Got a few bees hanging about the front and back. I think eventually they'll they'll disperse. They will fly into the hive. So apart from some frames there, I've got 6 frames of brood here. Brood, pollen, cat brood, eggs. These are all going to have to be disposed of. I don't want the varroa going into that hive. So things are starting to quieten down now. A couple of bees round about here. I've put 4 litres of light syrup in it. And I've put the eek on. You'll notice I've still got the insulation on the eek. There are some chilly nights, so that's the best thing to do. You can look at it as I always keep the insulation on, winter and summer. We've all encountered the roof, the tin roof of these hives that you could almost fry an egg on in the height of summer. That height transfers right down to the crown board and it goes into the hive. It upsets the homeostasis inside the hive because we all know the balance is just kept perfect. Now, they have to keep the thing hot, the hive hot in winter. But when you've no insulation on, they have to cool the hive down in the summer. The insulation there, the 4-inch kingspan, helps to maintain that equal temperature, summer and winter. If they need to cool it down, they're using their energy up, they're using their stores up to actually work their wing muscles to flap and get the air current going. So we're helping them, and maybe we'll get a pound or 2 of honey extra at the end of the year. I'll come back tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening when all the bees are in. It's not going to be very nice weather tomorrow, so either will do, and I'll do an oxalic acid sublimation on them just to knock down the ferritic mites, and hopefully that'll be it for the year. Could I have done anything better? I could have found a queen earlier. Well, that's me going to this hive after the shook swarm performed just under 2 weeks ago, and we'll see how things are. They've taken down lots of food. I gave them 4 litres, they demolished that in 2 days. I gave them another 4 litres, and there's still a lot there. So that's good. It must be building up well. Come closer. So this was, I had, I think, 1 drone frame so the queen could lay in it, and with that 4 litres of food I gave it, they've actually built it up very nicely. And no wonder they're not taking it, because it's full to the brim. So I'm going to go straight into these frames here, and I can see already there is larvae there. Lovely bees, lovely small bees. Not like some of our other bees in the apiary, which are, and we've got eggs right to here. So it's recovered extremely well. You notice I'm looking at the dark side every time I take one out, and it's covered in eggs and larvae. Absolutely fantastic. So this has been a success. So I'm looking for the queen. I must say that exchanging the frames to new frames certainly does accelerate the queen laying, which is quite incredible. So she's right out here, and if you remember from, and she won't be there. So just check that one. So in conclusion, couldn't find the queen, but she has laid up 9 frames, built out 9 frames, and that's with 4.5 litres of syrup and obviously oilseed rape, and there she is, found her. Thankfully found her. I know she's last year's, and so she's going to get a blue mark. Always be careful with the markings, because she can get drowned in the blue mark. So what I've did here, got 9 frames laid up, put a queen excluder on. I've now put a drawn super on, a drawn super from last year, or drawn supers from last year, and I'll let them be.